Hi, vacation rental owner or manager. This episode will show how to decorate your Airbnb for the fall season, to do it for free, and how it'll make a difference to get you more clicks and bookings. Hi, vacation rental owner. Welcome to Step Up Your STR, the podcast all about specialized decorating and other high-level strategies so that you can make max revenue from your properties. I'm Kara, and I've designed dozens of STRs, all of which charge in the top 10% of their area competitors and or make 153% more after working with me. Today, I'm excited to talk about one of my favorite things, and that is seasonal decorating. Now it's fall, so we'll be talking fall. There's just something so magical about this time of year. The air feels crisper. The leaves are in all different colors of orange and red, and suddenly everything just feels a little cozier. If you are an STR host trying to give your guests that unforgettable wow feeling, fall is the perfect season to lean into for that. And here's the best part. You don't need to spend any money to make it happen. I'm going to walk you through 4 simple and free steps that will transform your space into a cozy autumn retreat. They're easy, they don't require any fancy design skills, and they'll make your property feel intentional, seasonal, and really welcoming. This is editing Kara jumping in here. So something really important is that I made a free printable that goes along with this topic of decorating seasonally. I didn't mention it in the podcast, so I'm mentioning it now. You can find the link in the description. Thanks. And now back to the regular talking. Now, just a quick reminder, if you're listening to this and you would like to see the video version of this podcast where I show you what it looks like in real life, head over to YouTube, and search Kara with a C as in Charlie, Kara, and then my company name, which is VR Decor as in Vacation Rental Decor. So Kara VR Decor. You'll find my channel really easily that way, and you can watch some of these ideas in action. Okay, so grab some hot apple cider if you're feeling really festive, and let's get into fall decorating, made simple, cozy, and free. We're going to approach this step by step because without a plan, decorating can quickly feel overwhelming and maybe even feel like it isn't worthwhile. Step 1 is choosing 3 key spots in your space to decorate. I call these your seasonal hotspots. Why 3? Because 3 is the perfect number. It's small enough to stay manageable, but big enough to make an impact. If you try to decorate every single surface, you'll run out of energy, run out of ideas, and probably just make it look like clutter instead of giving cozy vibes. 3 is doable. 3 makes a statement without taking over your whole house and without taking much time. So some places where these hot spots could be are the coffee table, mantle, entry table, a kitchen countertop corner, and maybe a dining table. So let's talk about each of these in turn. The coffee table is a really natural gathering spot because it's typically in the center of the living space. Guests will sit around it. They can easily see it anytime they walk through the room. So it is the perfect seasonal stage. I almost always include the coffee table as one of the 3 hot spots when I'm choosing for a client. Another good hotspot is the mantle. If you have one, this is a no-brainer. Fireplace mantles are like blank canvases waiting to be decorated, and they're often the focal point of the room. The next possible seasonal hotspot is the entry table. This is your first impression zone. Imagine guests walking in and they instantly feel the coziness of fall just by glancing at that one spot as they enter. Next, consider the kitchen counter corner. Maybe you have a little nook where you keep a vase or a cutting board. That's the perfect spot for adding a seasonal touch without cluttering the kitchen. The final hotspot possibility is the dining room table. Even something simple like just a big vase of flowers can change the whole feeling of your space. Let me tell you a quick story. I once worked with a client who loved the seasons and she wanted to go all out for fall. She bought several bins worth of fake pumpkins, wreaths, garlands, branches with fake leaves on them. By the time she was done putting them everywhere, every surface practically had something on it. And you know what? Instead of feeling cozy, it felt crowded. So we scaled back. We chose three spots: the mantle, the entry table, and the coffee table. And suddenly her space felt curated, intentional, and really welcoming. Difference was night and day. So this is your first step. Pick only three seasonal hotspots. Write them down, commit to them, and resist the urge to go beyond three. Now that you know where you're decorating, it's time for step two: shop your home. Don't go shopping on Amazon or the Target seasonal aisle. I mean, literally walking through your home or any of your properties and look at what you already own with fresh eyes. Here are some of the best hidden gems that you probably already have and that you can definitely use for the season. First, vases. They can be tall, short, glass, ceramic, wood. It doesn't matter. A vase can instantly become seasonal depending on what you put in it. Next, trays. Round, square, wooden, metal. Trays are perfect for corralling smaller seasonal items into one cohesive display. Also, picture frames. Empty them out to repurpose. We're going to use these in step three. They are important. So look for some picture frames. Also, see if you have any candlesticks or lanterns because these always scream cozy, especially in fall when daylight fades earlier. Next, bowls and baskets. These are ideal for filling with pine cones, acorns, or other seasonal finds. And finally, blankets and pillows. Sometimes it's as simple as pulling out that plaid blanket that you tucked away at the end of last Christmas. All right, here's a real life example. I had a friend who thought she had nothing for fall decorating. She was ready to go and spend some money at a big box store. But when I asked her to shop her home, she really looked and she quickly found a lot of things. She found a neutral ceramic vase, a round tray that she normally kept in her kitchen cabinet and used for serving. She found three old picture frames and a basket that she kept in her closet. We added in a few natural elements, which we'll cover in the next step. And suddenly she had a whole fall setup without spending a dime. This step of shopping your home saves money, reduces clutter for sure, and you're decorating sustainably. We all love that. It's not about buying more, but using what you already own in a new and seasonal way. All right, step three is my favorite. Bring in nature and free printables. This is the heart of free seasonal decorating. Let's start with nature. Fall is the season that practically begs us to decorate with what's outside. The trees are dropping leaves in every shade, and the ground is sprinkled with acorns and pine cones, and the air feels like it's going to invite us to bring in a little of that beautiful outdoors. So here are some natural treasures to gather: colorful leaves, pine cones, acorns, branches with colorful leaves, and grasses or dried weeds. So a little bit about each of these things. With colorful leaves, you can just collect a handful that you find, on your daily walk. Get the most vibrant reds and yellows and oranges that you can find. Press them between two pieces of paper in a heavy book, and that will flatten them out. Or you don't have to do that. You can just scatter them along a table runner for instant decor. Pine cones are perfect for bowls and jars or just tucked around fake candles. So I did mention candles as one of the things that you can shop from your home. And I do urge you to get fake candles because real candles could be a fire hazard. So pine cones around candles are super festive and seasonal. Also, acorns, you can just scatter them in a tray or a glass dish. Next, branches with beautiful leaves on them. Get these tall and dramatic. Place them in a vase, and you've got an amazing centerpiece. Also, grasses or dried weeds. These might sound boring, but you put them in a beautiful vase and they create gorgeous texture. All right, last year I styled my enter table with nothing more than a large vase filled with dried green hydrangeas that I clipped from my yard. I paired that with my books in some neutral fallish colors, and it looked like something just straight out of a home magazine. And it was 100% free. Now let's talk about free online printables. If you've never used these, you are in for a treat. There are so many designers who create seasonal artwork and illustrations, and they just share them online for free. So just type into Google or into Pinterest, fall free printables, and you'll find a whole bunch of options. Some of my favorites include watercolor or oil landscapes, pumpkins, leaves, and minimalist black and white line art of leaves and fall branches and trees. I'll include links to a few sources that offer free public domain art. Just look for those in the description. So what you do is print a few out, slip them into those frames that you found earlier, and boom, you've got instant art. Place one on your mantle, on your coffee table, and maybe one in the kitchen corner. Here's a pro tip. Simply save your favorites so that you can reuse them year after year. You can even save them in the same frame. Just slip them behind whatever art you're currently displaying, and you'll thank yourself next fall when you already have a go-to stash of art. Now, this step, nature plus printables, easily brings the season into your home in the most authentic and budget-friendly way possible. It is my favorite. Step 4, arrange and style your seasonal hotspots. All right, this is the fun part. There's a simple rule I'll share that makes your space look instantly pulled together, and it's to arrange 3 items in each spot. 3 really is just kind of the magic number in decorating. It feels balanced, intentional, and just right to the eye, very comfortable to look at. So for each of your hotspots, maybe that's your mantle, your entry, and your coffee table, pick 3 items to group together. The trick is to make sure that each one is a different height from the next. That variation creates a nice rhythm and interest instead of everything feeling flat or cluttered. You might use a stack of books, place a taller vase next to a lower candle or next to a bowl. And here's one more important touch. Try to include at least one item from nature in each grouping. It could be a bundle of dried wheat, some colorful fall leaves you gathered outside, a pumpkin, or even just a branch with amazing texture. Adding something natural gives the space warmth and true authenticity for the fall that you're looking for. It's what makes your decor feel effortless instead of overdone. Once you've placed everything, take a step back, look at it from across the room or from the angle that guests will first see it, and then adjust it until it feels balanced and relaxed. You don't want it to look stiff or perfect, just really lovely. That's the moment your space starts to feel like fall. Now that your property looks and feels like fall, you don't need to stop there. This next step can actually help your property make more money. Because once your decor is updated, it's time to make sure that your listing photos show that same fresh seasonal look. So think about it. Guests don't experience your space in person first. They experience it through photos. That's how they're going to decide whether to click, book, or just scroll right past your listing. If your listing is showing, bright daisy flowers and beach towels, that doesn't match the season that guests are dreaming about right now. So let's fix it. And here's why this is one of the simplest and smartest updates you can make. Update your listing photos seasonally. The listings that feel current, that even that match the season that people are looking for, that's a big selling point. Those naturally stand out, those photos. So if it's September, October, or November, and your listing still shows bright flowers from the summer and floaties out in the pool, it subconsciously feels out of sync. But if your cover photo shows a warm, glowing blanket, some golden leaves outside the window, and maybe a bowl of acorns on the coffee table, this gives the instant impression of comfort and timeliness. It tells guests that this host is paying attention and cares about you, and that builds trust. Seasonal photos also help you attract the right kind of bookings. Guests who are searching for a cozy fall getaway will connect emotionally with your visuals that match what they're craving. They want crisp air, fall fireside evenings, and that feeling of slowing down. You definitely don't need a full photo shoot every quarter either. Just a quick refresh. Take a few updated shots that highlight your 3 seasonal hotspots, those places you just restyled with natural fall elements. Even swapping out 2 or 3 new images can make your listing feel refreshed and relevant. And here's something else that can be easy to overlook. Listing platforms, by my understanding, listing platforms reward freshness. Airbnb's algorithm tends to boost listings that have recent activity, including updated photos and captions. So not only do your visuals attract more clicks, but you may actually show up higher in search results just by keeping things seasonally updated. So when you finish adding your fall decor, grab your phone camera, take the best photos that you can while it's good light outside. Choose one to use as your new cover photo, upload a few others that really highlight the cozy autumn feel, and you've just given your listing a micro makeover that can literally increase bookings. It's one of those small free strategies that is so easy to overlook. But once you start doing it and, put it into your yearly calendar to do it, you'll notice guests commenting on how inviting your place looked online. All right, let's do a quick recap of the 4 free steps for decorating this fall. Number 1, choose your hotspots. Pick 3 key areas to focus your seasonal energy. Step 2, shop your home. Use what you already have, like vases, trays, frames, baskets. Number 3, use nature and free printables. Gather leaves, branches, pine cones, and mix in free seasonal art. As I mentioned before, I'll include some links to free seasonal art that you can click on in the description. Also, number 4, this is step 4, to arrange in groups of 3. So a candle, a blanket, and a pillow, those all in one shot in your listing photo, that will look wonderful. Include cozy layers with all of these elements that we've talked about and bring it all together. Just groups of 3 is your key. That rhymes. I didn't mean for that to rhyme. But arranging groups of 3, that is the last step. If you follow these steps, you'll be amazed at how quickly and easily your place is transformed. And like I said, it is free. You don't have to spend a single dime. Hi, this is Editing Kara jumping in again just to remind you that you can get the free printable that goes along with how to decorate for fall without spending any money and how to get more clicks and bookings by doing so. The description will have that link. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope these ideas inspire you to go grab a few branches from outside, dig through your closets to find, some baskets or beautiful big scarves that are gorgeous plaid colors for the fall, and create a space that feels warm, inviting, and totally appropriate for this season. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing and leave a review. It really helps to have STR owners find this show, and it tells me that you would like more content like this. I hope that you can enjoy every cozy and colorful moment of this fall season, and I look forward to talking again next time.